I'm walking. I parked in the middle of nowhere. I'm walking down to the event. Yay! I made it! Today I was lucky enough to attend a event here in Volusia County, Daytona Beach, with Stacey Abrams, who should be the rightful governor of the great state of Georgia. I was so excited to hear what her and local officials had to say, and get ready to get out and vote for Joe Biden so that we can take our democracy back.
I'm Mayor Derreck Henry, and I'm proud to be a Democrat. And I'm excited about voting and seeing the outcome of next Tuesday's historic election. Joining me this morning in celebration, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our fabulous Councilwoman, Bob Gertman, West Side of the County, Vice Mayor Vernon Burton, from Lake Helen, beautiful city of Lake Helen, and City Commissioner Danette Henry. 4 years ago, I stood in the Dickerson Center and welcomed Hillary Clinton to our community. And I warned our city about an impending train wreck if we did not get the job done by voting her in. Well, unfortunately, we were not successful in that election. And we see that we have a train wreck. And we see the casualties in the over 225,000 Americans who have lost their lives because we have a president of the United States who does not care enough about citizens to make certain that we're safe, to make certain that our voting rights are protected. We have a president who does not have the decency to stand up against racism. We have a president who's not only a xenophobe, but he's also a homophobe. Yep. In addition to that, I could go on and on about who he is, but most importantly, today we have an opportunity to change the trajectory of America to a Biden-Harris trajectory. We have an opportunity to make sure that future generations, their voting rights are protected, that their education is protected, and that women's rights are protected and restored. So I know that we have a great keynote speaker here today who's here. And like so many in America, she has had something that was stolen from her.
Absolutely.
She was wronged, deprived of what she earned, deprived of what she was elected to.
Yep.
So on behalf of Daytona Beach and every Democrat across America, we welcome you to Daytona Beach. Before I turn the mic over to her, I'm going to extend an opportunity to my older brother, who is also on the ballot.
All right.
My mother wasn't fair. He was the firstborn, so he got the best name. But let's remember, and he's a symbol of what we have to do. We have to go blue from the top to the bottom.
Absolutely.
And when you go, take someone with you. Patrick Henry. Good morning, Democrats. We can do better than that. Good morning, Democrats. All right. So I always tell my mother, I said, Mom, I said, you really have done me a good service in my life. I said, you did two things that I'm so happy for. And we always talk about this in my family. I said, you gave me a great name to be in the field that I'm in. You named me Patrick Henry. She said that just was by accident because I married a man with the last name Henry, and one of my brothers was named Patrick, so boom, you ended up with that name. But the second thing that she done, and I tell her all the time, I said, Mama, thank you for raising me as a Democrat. I tell her all the time, and all of us, she raises us as Democrats, because what that done to all of us, it gave us a thing where we know that servitude is utmost, and we care about the little guy. I want to thank the Biden-Harris campaign. They gave me a script because they know how I am for putting this on. And the local Democrats, you guys have done a great job. A great job. of ramping the vote up and doing the things that you're supposed to do. But before I really begin, I really want to turn around and say thank you. Thank you for your endorsement. It has really served me well, and I feel like it is going to help me move on to victory. For those of you who may not know, when you say every vote counts, every vote counts. During the last election, I lost my seat in the Florida House by a mere 61 votes out of close to 70,000 votes being cast. And then there's another rep down in South Florida lost by 31 votes. So in the state of Florida, we lost 2 House seats by under 100 votes. So don't let people tell you that every vote don't count, because in the end, every vote counts. This election is critical, and we always hear Joe Biden say it's for the soul of the nation. And then we hear former President Barack Obama say, vote like your life depends on it. People, listen to me. I've heard that all my life. But in this election, I truly believe it in my heart that if we don't vote, our life might very well depend on it. Well, without further ado, here's a lady that really needs the great states that I love dearly, the great free state of Georgia, a great educator, former member of the House, leader Stacey Abrams. Give it up for Stacey.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor Henry. Thank you, soon again to be Representative Henry. And thank you, Daytona Beach, for having me. The Henry brothers laid out very clearly what's at stake, but I want to put it in more simple terms. This is about a choice. There are 3 choices we're making. The first choice is, do we want someone who lies about the facts, hides the truth, and refuses to take responsibility? Or do we want a man who has admitted when he's made mistakes, has done everything in his power to make things better, and promises to lead our country forward, not backwards? If that's the choice you want to make, then the only choice is Joe Biden. Joe Biden has spent 47 years not complaining, not lying, not bankrupting companies, but serving people. Starting out as a public defender and a city council member, he understands that the closer you get to the bottom of the ballot, the closer you get to home.
That's right.
And so he understands that this is a choice about the kind of character we want to see in our nation, the kind of people we want to be, and the kind of children we want to raise. This is a choice between good and evil, and more importantly, between good and dumb. Because anybody who believes that it's okay to host super spreader events in the villages, anyone who thinks it's okay to leave senior citizens standing in the cold in Omaha, Nebraska, because you can't tell the direction of traffic, and anyone who would lie about the deaths of thousands of Americans, you can't trust him, and we don't need him. That's the first choice. The second choice is a choice between, do we vote or do we stay home?
We vote.
And we got to remember, we have a bunch of undecided still. They're not deciding if they want to live or die. They're not deciding if they want Trump or Biden. They're trying to decide, do they vote for Biden or do they stay home? And we have to let people know that this choice is about power. I am not the governor of Georgia, because someone else thought that their power mattered more than the power of citizens of Georgia to make choices.
Right.
Absolutely.
And when we see people who are willing to hold on to their power by stealing the basic power of democracy, they don't deserve to have the job. We have watched the Trump administration make it harder and harder to vote, but I can tell you, the best way to defeat voter suppression is by overwhelming the polls.
Yep.
2 million voters in the state of Florida have absentee ballots sitting on their desks, sitting on their coffee tables, sitting in that little basket on your kitchen table with the stuff you mean to get to once you remember it was there. But what's in that basket is the choice of a future. What's in that basket is a choice of progress. But they need someone to remind them that their choice is real. Mayor Henry reminded us that 4 years ago, we had a choice. 66 million people voted for Hillary Clinton. 63 million people voted for Donald Trump. 100 million people stayed home. 100 million people forfeited their power, but let's be clear. Of that 100 million, millions of them were told they couldn't vote. Were pushed out of the election process. So let's be clear. This is a choice about the kind of country we want to be. Do we want to make democracy a choice, or do we want to let them steal democracy from us? Because the opportunity we have today is to choose the path of freedom and choose the path of choice and make sure those 2 million votes end up in the ballot box and end up sending Joe Biden to the White House. But now we've got a third choice. And this is the choice I need each of you to make. Once we have voted, once we have cast our ballot, the folks that are standing here, you know that there are people we don't like as much as we used to. They owe us money. We owe them money. We're mad at them. We don't remember quite why. But we know that there are people who have not. Thank you. We know that there are people who do not understand what's at stake. Not because they don't care, but because they are among the 44% of Floridians who've lost their jobs or lost some of their income. Because they're among the 785,000 who have contracted COVID. Because they're among the mourners who are thinking about their family members who are no longer with them. And what they need you to do is make a choice. I appreciate you being out here to celebrate, but I need you to choose to fight. I need you to choose to get on the phones every day for the next 6 days and call folks and make sure they know what their rights are. I need you to make the text messages flow from your phone like the waters. You need to make sure that every person, you know persons, you may remember people you don't understand why they're in your contacts, contact them anyway. Because they need to know that you care about their voice. They need to know that you care about their choice. They need to know to go to iwillvote.com. And every single day for the next 6 days, I need you to commit to contacting 25 people. And then call them again and again and again. 61 votes kept this man out of the state house when they stole back the right to vote from returning citizens. 3 million voters had their votes quashed because 77,000 people changed the Electoral College. We know what we can do, Florida. Look, I'm from Georgia. We consider you guys South Georgia. And I know y'all consider us North Florida. But together we can change the fate of this nation. If we choose to do the work every single day. If we don't get taken in by poll numbers, don't get taken in by lies, don't get taken in by chaos. If we choose to use our powers for good, like a superhero. If we go into those places that we try to speed through. If we talk to those folks that we forget too often. If we do the work to make sure that by this Saturday, everybody we have ever known knows to go out and vote. And if you live in a major county, by this Sunday, we get souls to the polls. We have the opportunity to change the world. I'm here today because I believe in Joe Biden. I believe in his vision of building back better. But I'm here most of all because I believe in America. I was raised to believe in patriotism, and patriotism is work. Patriotism is hard. But patriotism means that you believe in your country enough to sacrifice everything you can to get everything folks need. And we need Joe Biden as the next president of these United States. So let's get in there. Let's make our choice. Thank you so much.
This is where I ask you to get out and vote. Make sure you get out and vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris so that we can genuinely make America a great place for all Americans, not just a few.